I'm Chiscool Gaming, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 epic heroes that you should be looking to include in your roster in Dragonheir Silent Gods. And in case you haven't been following along with my sponsored Dragonheir Silent Gods series, this is a season-based game that officially launched Season 2, Fall of the Increscent, on December 15th, which introduced a new sandbox environment, the Aethercarn. There's new strategies to explore, and now you can even conquer the seas. The leveling experience has been optimized to give you a smoother early game and faster growth. And with the new season, there are some new elemental affinities, as well as 30 new heroes with new damage types, including Burn for Fire, Ice Blast for Ice, and Thunderbolt for lightning. You'll even run into new and improved dungeon bosses, as well as new equipment and artifacts to collect. With the new season, be ready to spend some dice in the Fourth Faring Summons event for the new Season 2 exclusive summon pool, as well as exchanging in the Season 1 rewards shop. There's even a brand new hero kinsfolk to collect. That's Merfolk. It's a brand new season, span new game, and a big thank you to Dragonheir Silent Gods for sponsoring today's video. In fact, if you haven't downloaded the game, check the link in the description. It's available on Windows via Steam and the Epic Games Store. It's also available on Mac, iOS, and Android. Thank you again, Dragonheir Silent Gods, for sponsoring today's video, and let's talk about how you actually go and collect these 10 best epic heroes that you're going to be using in your lineup. And obviously, you can get your epic heroes from summoning. There's a pity system in play that'll help you out between the rare and the legendary heroes. For Starlight Dice, there's a 3% chance to get an epic hero, but you are guaranteed an epic hero on your 35th pull if you didn't get one in the first 34 pulls. And on your Heliolite Dice, there's actually a 17% chance to pull an epic, with pity happening after only 6 pulls of not getting an epic. The 7th will be guaranteed at that point. Now, epic heroes are honestly extremely strong in this game, and many of them have specific roles to play, which we're going to cover in this video. So let's talk about the top 10 that you need to keep an eye out for, especially if you're just getting started in the game. And we'll look at them in order of affinity. So let's kick things off with fire. We're going to start with Adolphus, who is a very strong support hero, giving some really big shields to your whole team, as well as some nice ultimate energy with his battle skill. His passive is where you can get a bit creative, stating that whenever the target is trying to shield, already has a shield, he heals them for 75% of the shield he's giving them, which if you pair with someone like Isolde, another fire epic, you can get some pretty insane healing and shielding for your team. Now, Adolphus is an enlightenment and attack-based support, meaning you want to have as much enlightenment and attack percent as you can, ideally with a 2-piece radiance and 2-piece platinum knight set, giving you the most stats you can. Next up is Tonalnan, who I covered in a previous video. If you're familiar with wild teams, he is one of the best possible enablers for all wild damage heroes like Flora, Felicity, or Casper. He is possibly the highest single target damage dealer of any epic in the game. On top of being a really great enabler, you'll definitely want to get your hands on this guy for your fire team. His ultimate has 5 separate hits, meaning he can also be a support for your team to hold artifacts like Witch's Remains or Crown of the Unclean that apply a defense debuff and really want a multi-hitter for higher chances of proccing the debuff. Tonal grants themselves 100% crit damage from his passive, and passively has an extra 20% crit rate. So you only need 80% crit rate when building him in order to get yourself to 100. Then you stack as much attack and crit damage as you can, specifically with the Gambler's set. Now, moving on from fire, we've got one particular hero in Frost that is one of the best supports in the game that somehow I haven't managed to get yet, which is ridiculous. That is Voresh. I mean, you win some and you lose some. I still haven't gotten him. I'm not bitter, you're bitter. Okay, anyways, what you can see on the screen is that I have every epic in the game except Voresh, which, I mean, all right, well, it is what it is, but at some point I'll use the $1 epic selection chest next season in order to go and pick him up. Anyways, he brings so much value to the table. He heals when he does damage. He has a chance to dispel a buff from his enemies, and even applies a buff prohibition debuff. I mean, how much do you need on an epic in order to be like, yes, this is a hero I should be working on? You can use him in PvE, you can use him in PvP. He's popularly or commonly paired with Sigrid for that full board AoE debuff. Vorish just brings so much to your team, and he's really important in Frost lineups, which is why I'm like, bro, how do I not have him yet? Is what it is. You want to stack as much attack percentage as you can on this guy because of his abilities that scale off of attack. You also want to look at getting the 3-piece 3 ears or 2-piece 3 ears and 2-piece troll to stack as much skill haste as possible. With some bonus attack, you can't go wrong either. Now on to the necrosis lineup. A super underrated epic hero is Thea. She acts as a utility support, but not many people know she can actually be a crazy healer as well. She gives invisibility and debuff immunity to ranged heroes from her ultimate. Paired with her passive, they will then take 15% less damage while invisible, and her battle skill makes it so that she heals all allies that are invisible. That is super valuable and super versatile. She even applies healing reduction from her ultimate skill, which can be useful in some niche cases. You want to focus on Enlightenment for just as much as you can, because that's her main scaling for her healing. Pair that with 3-piece Radiance for more healing, or even 3-piece ear set, depending on if you need more attack buffs for your team. Now, the next hero we're going to get a look at, also necrosis, is going to be Questa, who is a super good single target damage dealer. If you're not a big spender and pulling some of the crazy damage dealing legendaries, Questa is going to be able to carry you through a lot of single target damage content. Not only is this because she does a lot of damage, but she has some great utility. Her ultimate steals 30% ultimate energy from her target, which also heals her based on her attack. She also has a chance to apply attack penalty 2 from her battle skill, which is extremely useful if you decide to put some accuracy on her. You want to aim for 3-piece Executioner for her PvE content, or 3-piece Platinum if you want to use her for PvP. 100% crit rate and as much attack and crit damage as you can stack is where you want to go. Now let's go talk about Radiance, one of the 2 most renowned tanks. We got to cover them in Radiance, and let's start with Garius. If you've played enough, you're just like bound to run into Garius somewhere, either in Arena, from PvE rankings, or even in Fey Meander. Garius does it all. He tanks like a beast. He has stacking defense every time he's attacked, and does a huge heal to your entire team. He's an absolute monster for anything PvE or PvP. Stack as much defense as you possibly can, and literally, you don't need anything else. He's going to carry you through so many dungeons and activities in this game. 3-piece Ancestral Protection, and as many defense percent stats as you can muster. Cook that up. Staying on the Radiance train for a second, Catherine is also a really nice healer with some good buffs. Her battle skill gives defense 2 to an ally, as well as heals them. Her ultimate grants debuff immunity, a huge AoE heal. She is a really solid and versatile addition to your lineup. If you're in Season 1, she'll be a great support for your Rally or Dauntless teams. In Season 2, she'll be amazing with Frost, since Frost doesn't have that many great supports to work with. She mainly just wants Enlightenment, and you can choose between 3-piece 3 ears or 3-piece Radiance, as well as some extra tank stats where you can get them, like hit point percent, so she can stay alive. Now, following on from Radiance, I have one more candidate from Lightning, which is Iola. She is a multi-hitting support that has insane control capabilities. First, looking at her ultimate, she applies attack penalty 2 with a 3-hit ultimate, as well as a chance to silence. Remember what we said earlier, having multi-hitters is important to hold artifacts like the Crown of the Unclean or Witch's Remains for more opportunities to apply debuffs, so the defense debuff has a higher rate of being rolled. What's really cool about Iola is how she's able to chain stuns between targets super easily. So with her passive, whenever she attacks an enemy that's silenced, she has a 40% chance to turn that silence into a stun, which ties in with her ultimate that then fires 2 orbs at an enemy with a chance to silence them. She mainly just wants accuracy to apply debuffs, but you also can build her with 100% crit and some attack percent for more damage, but she really wants 3-piece 3 ears. Now, last but not least, Poison. Poison as the last two heroes on our list. We're going to be talking first about Furbath, who is one of the, I think, other renowned and sought-after tanks at the epic tier. Again, bringing a lot of versatility to the table. He's similar to Garius, but instead of big burst heals, he does a heal over time, which can be more value to you depending on what you're fighting against. He also puts up a Nexus healing all allies in his range, and this, like Garius, also scales off of his defense. So you make him more tanky, and that also makes his heals more effective. He also applies an attack penalty 2 from his ultimate and a chance to dispel a debuff from an ally when hitting an enemy inflicted with a debuff. Really, really solid for any team, and like Garius, can carry you through most activities in the game since he brings so much to the table as a tank. 3-piece Ancestral and as much defense percent as you can get is the way to go, but also make sure you have enough accuracy for him to land his attack penalty. You can even opt for the 3-piece 3 ears for something like Vortex for even more damage for your team. Finally, the last pick has to be Vikak. Cleansers are quite hard to come by, and he cleanses 2 debuffs from your team, as well as a heal. The best part about it is that he doesn't scale off of anything specific, meaning you can build him pretty much however you want, depending on what you need. He also applies attack penalty 2 from his battle skills and an accuracy penalty with his passive every time he's inflicted with a debuff. You don't want to miss out on using it with him when you need to deal with debuffers. Now, I'm hopeful that this guide has helped you with your epic investments, as well as maybe even finding yourself a choice for the $1 Epic Hero Choice chest that a lot of people seem to ask about in the community. I'm definitely looking forward to getting all of these Season 2 epics on my main account. I had a chance to play with a bunch of the Season 2 epics in a special test server for a short period of time right before Season 2 dropped for everyone on December 15th. So if you want to check that video out, card will be in the end screen in just a second. Season 2 has been really awesome. It's a brand new season and a span new game. Definitely be sure to check out those cards in the end screen and download Dragonheir Silent Gods using the link in the description on Mac. We've got Windows with Steam or Epic Games Store. You've got iOS or Android. Using my link in the description does support the channel. And until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.